Now, then the court further asked you today as to who took the statement from Simpiwe, and then you said you personally took it from Simpiwe.
Yes, my lord, that was the answer, but it should be noted, my lord, that I referred there were two statements. That's why I just indicated now that we are talking about the cases that were investigated by Sergeant Mokhane, but the very same individual made a statement in this docket 636 of 10/2014, and that statement was taken by me and commissioned by me. No, what I'm saying is, in case 636 of 10/2014, the statement from Simpiwe Memela was taken by me. Then there is another statement by the very same individual that is in those dockets of Marikana that were in possession of Sergeant Mokhane. That statement was taken by Sergeant Mokhane. But insofar as this one that I was referring to, my lord, where I said specifically he implicates accused 3 and 4 insofar as their involvement in this matter, that statement was taken by me and commissioned by me, and it's in this docket.
Thank you. Now, the court further inquired from you as to the whereabouts of Simpiwe, and then you said he is now deceased.
Yes, that's what I said, my lord.
Thank you. Now, when you took, let me put it this way, this aspect relating to Simpiwe's statement that was read into record, apparently he did not receive the attention that it had to receive. But now that it is coming up again, I think we should just attend to it. Under what circumstances was this statement taken?
My lord, I with greatest respect to Advocate Mnisi, I dealt with it because it appears in the confessions of one of the accused, I think accused 2, where he mentions Simpiwe. If you look at those exhibits, he mentions the name Simpiwe, where they were exchanging firearms. And out of the collaboration, because I dealt with it in that context, that in collaborating the confessions, then we had to follow and tick certain things, and that is how I then got to Simpiwe Buthelezi.
My question is a very simple one. I am requesting you to sketch out to this court the circumstances under which you took out this statement. When did you meet Simpiwe? Where did you meet him? Where did you take him? In whose presence? Who else was there when you took this statement?
My lord, I just explained the basis that the first time that made me to approach Simpiwe is because in the confessions his name is mentioned, and in the process of collaborating, then I had to follow what was mentioned in the confession. And then yes, subsequently I got told of him. I would have been with the team, with my team members. I can't recall from the top of my head who were there, my lord, but eventually we met him and he disposed the affidavit that is in the docket, my lord.
You seem to have very difficulties in answering this question. Question is, sketch out to this court the circumstances under which you took the statement from Simpiwe. The date, who was in your company when you took the statement, who was in the company of Simpiwe when this statement was taken, where was it taken? As you have already said, you commissioned it yourself. I just want that information, that background. The circumstances under which the statement was taken. Don't give me the reason why you had to go to Simpiwe to go and take the statement. I don't understand it. I don't know a physical moment at which the statement was taken. That's what I'm asking you.
My lord, I think unless my understanding of the circumstances is not the same understanding that Advocate Mnisi is having, I'm saying, and because for me those are the circumstances, under what circumstances do I then take a statement from Mr. Simpiwe Buthelezi? And I'm saying it came as a result of his name coming up in the confession. In wanting to collaborate, I'm laying the basis of the circumstances to say, how do I find myself with this person? Yes, his name is mentioned in the confession. In collaborating what is contained in the confession, my lord, then I trace this individual, we get to him, we question him, then he disposed the affidavit. Now, in terms of the date, the time, and the venue, one will have to get to the statement, which is what I'm looking for, my lord, to indicate where we were. But what I do recall, I was not alone. That I'll never, because we were working as a team. But as to where, I'll have to check where the statement was commissioned and the date to be specific insofar as that part of the question, my lord, is concerned.
Thank you, Brigadier. On your behalf, I will implore this court to be a bit patient so that you get that information to be in a position to answer my question, because this is very crucial.
Yes, we are checking it, my lord. We'll get it now. Yeah.
Thank you. As it is the court, my lord, just a bit of an indulgence to enable the brigadier to go through his documents.
But was it taken in Johannesburg or in Durban?
My lord, I think it will be my recollection. I think it. Yeah, my lord, I don't want to say. Perhaps if the court can just bear with me. Let me just find the right location, please.
And incidentally, I remember I asked what caused, if you knew, what caused the death of Simpiwe Mnisi.
Yes,
Because you said he died.
Yes, my lord.
Then I'm sure I asked.
You did ask, my lord.
What was the answer then?
My lord, perhaps let me stick to what the death certificate says, natural causes.
Yeah, fine.
Yes. Yes. So the statement, my lord, was taken at NATCOMS, meaning the National Commissioner's Office in Pretoria. The date was 2020-07-04, and the time when it was taken is 2018. In other words, 2000 hours, 18 minutes. That's when it was taken. And it was commissioned by me. Yes.
Thank you. That is the date and the date and the place. National office, I think I assume it was here in Pretoria.
Specifically the office of the National Commissioner, yes, that's the office we're using in 2020, my lord. My office was also there.
Thank you. Now, where did you find this Simpiwe? Where was he staying?
My lord, he was found, my recollection, he was found initially when this incident happened, he was staying in Forsterus, but the investigation led to him being found in KZN, I think in Wanongoma area, but he was found by the team that was led by the late Sergeant Mabena, and then after they found him, they then brought him to my office, my lord, in Pretoria.
So let me get this clear. Simpiwe was residing at Wanongoma, and he had to be transported for this statement to Pretoria by the team that comprised of Mabena and others. Are you then saying you personally were not there when he was driven from Wanongoma to Pretoria, or when he was fetched from Wanongoma to Pretoria for purposes of taking the statement?
No, yes, my lord, that's what I'm saying. I was not there when he was found. He was brought to me. That's why we met in Pretoria, my lord, at my office. So when he was found, I was not there, my lord. But it was at my directive, my lord, that he must be traced and found based on the collaboration of the confession, my lord. So I gave the details to the tracing team to actually locate him. And when he was found and I was notified, then I made a request that he must be brought to Pretoria, my lord.
Thank you, Madam. Just an indulgence, something that I need to take up with Mr. Mnisi. Thank you for the indulgence, Madam. Brigadier. Now, upon your arrival, actually upon the arrival, that is Simpiwe and the team that has brought him over here to Pretoria, then upon their arrival, then they ushered him to you, not so?
I'm not so sure, my lord, what ushered, to what extent. He was brought to my attention, my lord. That's the extent of it.
The term usher, those are words that were used by William Shakespeare. It simply means he was brought to you.
My understanding is different, my lord. So I'm not sure how you usher is a suspect, a person of interest. That's why I said I don't. So my understanding is different with greatest respect.
That is Shakespearean English. William Shakespeare, he was an English writer.
Yeah, but still, we're talking about the person of interest.
In essence, that simply means upon their arrival here, they said, Brigadier Kiminda, on the basis of your instruction, we have found him alive, and here we are bringing him to you, brave Emmanuel. In other words, long hairs, brave Emmanuel.
My lord, let us just agree that he was introduced to me, brought to my attention, introduced to me, I introduced myself, and we then engaged. I interviewed him regarding this matter, and that interview led to the disposal of this affidavit.
Thank you, Brigadier. Now, upon his arrival, when you received him, was somebody else accompanying him, or he was just alone?
My lord, was brought to my office by the police, the team that I've dispatched. As I said, it was led by the late Sergeant Mabena. They brought him to me, and I had an interview with him in my office. No one else. There was no one else when I interviewed him, and subsequently the statement was taken.
When I said, was there somebody else, I mean to the exclusion of the police, somebody private, except for members of the police. But you are saying when you spoke to him, it was only yourself and him, not so. In other words, there was nobody else. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's true, my lord. That's how I would have, that's my recollection, and that's how I would have conducted the interview, because I wouldn't want the third person to be there for no purpose, my lord.
Now, when you interacted him, what were your observations, or how did you find him to be in terms of his mental health?
My Lord, I can't recall because I didn't examine him. The purpose of my interview was to establish his name being in the confession, and I established that we could understand each other. He walked in the office, he was walking. As to his mental health, that question didn't arise insofar as the purpose of the interview was concerned. So I don't want to speculate, my Lord, because it didn't arise nowhere in my interview. It was insofar as establishing whether he can corroborate what was contained in the confession, and he did corroborate it, my Lord.
Thank you, Brigadier. I think it came up in a different... I know we are not a psychologist or a mental doctor, but based on your experience and as a seasoned officer for all these years, when you interacted him, did you find that he was just a normal person or something was amiss with him?
My Lord, as I said, it looks okay, and I'm saying I didn't focus on the medical part because it didn't arise. And when I was with him, insofar as my interaction and his responses, they were normal. But if the question is whether was he physically healthy, I can't say that because I didn't venture into that aspect, my Lord. But during my interaction, he was normal. He spoke to me, we understood each other up to the time we were done, my Lord, with the statement.
Thank you, Brigadier. You know, accused number 3, Mr. Mnube, requests me to tell you that we are not making a mistake. You're not making a mistake when you told this court that Simpiwe Buthelezi and accused number 3 knew each other. This says it is indeed so, because they are from the same area. They are from the same area, however, in the larger area of KwaNongoma. I think that you will welcome, you say no, that's true.
Well, it is true, my Lord, because in the statement of Simpiwe Memela, that's what he says. He says he knows accused 3 and 4, but specifically says he is closer, or rather he was closer to accused number 3. So the statement of the deceased, now being Mr. Buthelezi, says that as well, my Lord. So I think we're in agreement.
Thank you, Brigadier. However, the following information is what transpired when allegedly his statement was taken.
I'm listening, my Lord.
Now, there is information that this court is going to receive. There's actually a witness that this court that would come and tell this court certain information. However, because of security reasons, we would request that his identity should not be disclosed now. But very surely, when time is ripe and when time comes for that witness to be caught, I don't know whether it's a he or she. You know, sometimes these days there are people that they are our brothers and sisters that are referred to as they. You see. So I'm not so sure whether this is a he or she or a they, but whoever that they are, when time comes, that person will come and tell the court the following. Number 1. That this person knows Simpiwe Buthelezi. Number 2, that this person knows that Simpiwe Buthelezi had been serving a sentence in a jail at KZN. Number 3, that when he was serving, he got afflicted mentally. And then they had to place him on a mental parola. In other words, they had to take him because of his mental challenges to go and serve his sentence at home. That is number 3. Number 4, while so serving his sentence at home as a result of that fact that he was released on a mental condition, a team of investigators then arrived where Simpiwe Buthelezi was staying, including yourself. And indeed, you wanted to have a conversation with him. However, due to the fact that you could observe, when I say you, I mean the collective, the police, they could observe that his understanding of issues mentally was challenged. You then requested, when I say you again, I mean as a collective, you then requested this person that I am referring to as either a they, he or she, to accompany him with you to Pretoria, where you were to come and take his statement. Now, number 6, you personally, no, let me not say personally, because I don't know where the money came from, whether it came from the slush fund, whether it came from your own pocket or whatever, I don't know. But then the team that was led by you then decided to buy a cell phone for this Simphiwe Buthelezi. For whatever reason, this person did not know. And number 7.
6.
Is it 6, my lord?
Yeah, I'm
Thank you,
counting.
my lord. Now number 6. Excuse me?
It's 7.
I think it's 7.
Okay.
Yes. Now number 7. This person knew Simphiwe very well. Just there. There are 7 points which I have mentioned. And the reason why I decided to mention them as a collective is because I did not want any of them to elude my mind in their sequence. You see, you can comment if you want to comment. Thank you.
Yes, my lord, I would like to comment.
Thank you.
So, firstly, my lord, it is not true, and I can put it strongly to say it's a lie, that I went to Simphiwe Buthelezi's house. I don't know it, standing here today. Not that day when he was picked up, no, even after we were trying to obtain the death certificate. So I do not know his home residence, and I was not part of that team. Secondly, my lord, with greatest respect as well, my lord, it defies logic to me in saying you find a person in KZN whom you can see is not in a good state, health-wise, mentally. And the only reason you want to engage with this person is to take a statement, but you decide to actually drive this person all the way from KZN to Pretoria to do the same exercise. Why not take a statement in KZN if that was the case? So
Yeah,
that
to
was-
buy in a phone also.
I was coming there, my
Oh, I
lord.
see.
Yes, I was coming there, my lord. So I wanted to deal with it in point forms as they were put to me. There might not be in a proper sequence, my lord. Secondly, thirdly, my lord, maybe let me not put the sequence form. With regard to the cell phone, perhaps let me start with the statement. My engagement with Mr. Buthelezi, my lord, resulted in this affidavit. And this affidavit, which is A158, that's the one we're referring to, collaborators, as I've said, the party that implicates accused number 3 and 4. Now, what will be the purpose of giving him a phone, let alone the illegalities of it? What will be the purpose? Because after this statement was given to me, my lord, there was no other reason or engagement I had with him. He collaborated this part, the statement was filed in the docket. All that we were waiting for was for him to consult with the state as and when the matter presumed. There was no further engagement from me. So I don't understand why, firstly, will I, be it my team in my presence, utilize a cell phone at the state's expense for what purpose, my lord? It's not allowed, but it also defies logic. For what purpose? Because our engagement, my lord, as I've said, it is insofar as Sergeant Mohane is involved, and I was not there when he dealt with him insofar as the Marikana cases with accused number 2. When I came across him on this specific date, he disposed this affidavit, and our relationship ended there, my lord. Nothing else had transpired. Further, my lord, and it's something that I can, if Advocate needs me to pursue it so that we can deal with facts, I'm prepared to do that, to approach the State Correctional Services that is referring to and really establish as to whether this person was released on parole due to mental conditions, because I've never had such. My understanding is that if a person, if that had to be the case, because of the mental condition, he would have been referred to the mental institution. I've never had a government department throwing someone on the street who is not about mental okay, because in essence that's what it means. He's incarcerated, there's mental problems with him, and then he's then released to get what medical attention, my lord. I've not heard of this, and that is why I'm saying with greatest respect, perhaps because this is his instruction, it's what he's being told, we can, and I'm willing to do that, to pursue this correctional center and really find the records, because the record should state that indeed he was released for mental condition, but I doubt very much, and I must say that with greatest respect. All I can say, my lord, is that when I engaged him, I did not see any signs of him being mentally disturbed. We spoke to each other, and indeed Mr. Mnisi confirmed that he knows accused number 3 in particular, because what Advocate Mnisi said about accused 3 with Mr. Simpwebu Telezi, it's what the same person says, that I know accused 2, 3 and 4, but I'm more closer to accused number 3. And in this statement he says we come from the same area in Wanongoma, so how could this person be mentally disturbed? Because I didn't know him, my lord. So this information came only from the deponent of this statement, because this assertion was not told to me at that stage. The only person who told me this, which is now confirmed by accused number 3, is the deponent. If this person was mentally disturbed, how did he know this information, my lord? Lastly, my lord, if you read this statement, this A158, one will see, if it was to be read on record, my lord, that this person was on his clear senses and sober senses, my lord. That's the impression I got. I didn't get any other impression until this statement was concluded. And if you read what he says, my lord, it's of a sound mind person. Only a sound mind person can dispose, in my view, in my observation, and I'm talking to the experience that Advocate Mnisi referred to. So I did not get this assertion that he was now mentally disturbed, my lord. Lastly, my lord, the last aspect, perhaps I think it's important because it also relates to the cell phone. If one look at the preamble, this is now paragraph 1 of his statement, he gives his cell phone number. So meaning he had a cell phone, my lord. And I'm talking to this issue that he was now given a phone, bought a phone. If you read his statement, the first part where he identifies himself, he mentions a specific number as his cell phone number. Yes, my lord, that's what I want to say, my lord.
Sorry, just maybe we should have cleared this up before. Was Sergeant Mohano, was she part of the group?
I think, my lord, he was.
That went to...
Yes, to Nwanongoma.
Yeah.
Yes, to pick up this Simpwebu Telezi.
It's her then, eh?
No.
It's not you?
No, it's the guy. This is the lady.
Oh, sorry.
The man, yes.
Oh, it's the guy.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Mnisi. There's a challenge for you.
Excuse me, madam.
There's a challenge issued by the brigadier. You're not responding to it. The challenge, if Mr. Mnisi will agree, I can take the particulars and go to the police station to go and investigate whether in fact accused number 1 was released on medical parole, because these records...
No, not
these
accused
records,
number 1. Not accused number, I think the witness, the Simpiwe.
The witness, sorry. The witness, not accused number 1.
Yes.
The witness Simpiwe.
Yes, my lord. As it please the court, my lord. If it's a challenge to me, then I'm going to respond by saying I'll have to take instructions from our instructing attorneys. I cannot as of now take a decision that Brigadier Kininda should go there. We're very cautious.
So
I'm not going to refer to the papers, but I'll have to take instructions in that regard.
Not from the attorneys. I thought you... Oh, okay, fine. I hear you.
Yes.
I hear you.
Yes.
Actually, you don't know.
The court would note that I am only a creature of instructions here. Yes. Thank you, my lord. Now, Brigadier, you saying, soon after you took his statement, with a view to try find corroboration of whatever nature that you wanted to find, then you had nothing to do with this person. Is that what you told this court?
My lord, yes, that's what I said. But perhaps let me just go back to the part that Advocate Mnisi responded to.
No, but my question, Brigadier, understand, is that what you said? And then you said yes. Then you'll have to wait for me then to answer you a question. If there is something that you want to go back to, you will have to discuss that with Advocate Maloyi in re-examination. Do you understand? Alternatively, you got to request an indulgence from the court, and the court says, no, it's fine, you can revisit what you want to revisit, because court is the manager of the proceedings. Do you understand? That's how it works in court. Yes.
My lord, I understand how the court works, and my understanding, my response, or what I wanted to say was in relation to what Advocate Mnisi said, and I don't mind asking the court the permission to respond to what he said, because the question question, put it to him as to whether he's up to the challenge. And his response was to an extent, and that's the part I wanted really to deal with, not the other part. When he said, because I took exception to that part, when he said he's not certain as to what will happen to the documents if they are picked up by me. So I'm reading it differently, and that's why I wanted to deal with that aspect. Taking instructions from his attorneys, I don't mind. But when an assertion is given as if documents, when they're taken by me, they will come up, because that's how I'm reading it differently than how they were obtained. I think it's a serious indictment, my lord, and that's why I wanted to deal with it, and I take exception in that regard.
Thank you, Brigadier. I won't dwell in that. That is how you interpreted it to me. I'm in no control of your mind on how you interpret things, but nonetheless, you answered my question by saying yes. After you took his statement, then you had nothing to do with him. Now, my follow-up question to that answer is, would you not have liked him to come and repeat what he said in the statement that you are alleging that you got from him, rather than to have nothing to do with him?
My lord, I'll deal, because it's a twofold type of a question. Let me deal with the last part. Yes, I think any IO, my lord, when you obtain evidence or statement from witnesses, you will want such people to obviously come forward and tell the court what they've said to you, my lord. That's the first part. Then the first part, my lord, to say I had nothing to do with him, I think it must not be read in the context of saying I discarded him. I meant we met, he gave me the statement that corroborated what was contained in the confession. From that time up to the time that he passed away, my lord, there was no reason for me to engage him. And that is why I'm saying there would have been a time for engagement when the state advocate says, I want to consult with this person. Or if out of this investigation, something necessitated me to go to him, of course, my lord, I was going to go to him. So I'm not saying I discarded him, I had no use for him. I'm saying for the purpose of what I needed to do, I obtained the statement, it was corroborated, and I carried on with other investigations.
Sorry, was he subpoenaed as a witness?
No, my lord. By the time we wanted to consult, even at the consultation state, he had unfortunately passed on. So when we said with Advocate Mnisi to say now, let's look at these witnesses, because it was around that time when I discovered the purpose was to get to him, arrange a consultation with the state advocate, and that's when we discovered that he passed on.
When did he pass on?
My lord, one will have to get to his death certificate, my lord. I'll look for it and then give the court a specific date. But we have a death certificate.
Thank you, Brigadier. Maybe before we attend to you, then now realize what interpretation does. Because to me, it sounded like you had nothing to do with him. That was my interpretation. The same thing goes to what I said initially to you with regard to the papers. I just wanted to bring it to your attention. Maybe attend for lunch, my lords. Thank you. It's already 1 o'clock.